And here in Nigeria, constituents in 36 local government areas across 11 states in the country began voting this Saturday morning to elect new representatives to fill vacant seats in the National Assembly. The by-elections are being conducted by officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission across the affected states in the country. In Lagos, candidates from 12 political parties will be contesting in the Lagos East Senatorial by-election, while 8 candidates will be contesting the Koshofe Constituency 2, Lagos State House of Assembly by-election. Arise correspondent Ozzy Okoli has been monitoring the by-elections in Lagos, and he joins us now. Ozzy, good to have you join us. What constituent are you at this very moment, and which candidate should we be looking out for?
Well, we are standing here and we've been waiting for Tokunbo Abiru, who is supposed to be casting his vote here. And what we heard is that since 11 o'clock, he was supposed to have been here to cast his vote, but we are still waiting. And the supporters are saying that he's still on his way. You know, earlier in the day, we have seen Badamosi cast his votes around the Allison booth. So here, we are still waiting. This place is Balogua or Tabala Palace, but it is called Aga Ijomu, Ward E, Unit 11. A lot of people are still waiting and hoping that Tokunbo Abiru will be here to cast his vote. And I also have some people here that have been monitoring the election since today. They are the the Patriotic Women Foundation accredited to observe the Lagos East Senatorial election. I have standing beside me Mrs. Yemisi Ige, who is the national coordinator. If she can just walk into the shot. Can you bring us to speed from what you have observed so far since today in Ikorodu, monitoring the election?
Good morning, everyone. We are in Ward E, Unit 11, Aga Ijomu, Ikorodu. The election is peaceful so far, and there is average turnout of voters. And the process is going on smoothly. Everything is working out fine. Even the card reader is functioning very well. Finger authentication, everything is going on smoothly. But the turnout of voters is average. But we are here. We've been going around. We've gone around the Ikorodu and its environs. It's gone around the Telewa, Otambala, all these areas. So far, so good. It's peaceful.
Okay, so if I'll be asking her some specific question, because they said they are the Patriotic Women Foundation. So which means we have women being involved in this election, not just from voting point of view, but also going around to observe, going around to see that things are done rightly and correctly. So from your observation so far, are you impressed with the turnout of women voting in this election, this Lagos East Senatorial election, by-election?
Yes, we realize that women are more than even men that came to vote. We have large turnout of women as voters for this election. Women came out to vote even more than men in this election. Thank you.
So will you say it's a development in the voting pattern in Nigeria, especially here in Lagos?
You know, sensitization is going on right now for women to be alert and to be up and doing, because we are major stakeholders in this polity we call Nigeria. Women are major stakeholders and we are out. Women are more alert now. So that is why they turn out to vote. Thank you.
Okay, so you heard from Yemisi Ige, who is the National Coordinator for Patriotic Women Foundation, who had said that she's impressed with the turnout and that women are involved in this election so far. So we are still waiting for Tokunbo Abiru to come to cast his vote, and this is almost 12:30 and we are still here waiting.
All right, Ozzy, if you can hear me, let's talk about the restriction of movement in voting areas. Was it strictly enforced where you are?
Where I am at the moment, it's an interior part of Ikorodu, and movement here is more for people who are coming to vote and people who are coming to also observe the election. But that notwithstanding, on our way to Ikorodu, we saw law enforcement officers doing their job fantastically, and they've been able to curtail people who are not doing what they are supposed to do by not keeping to the restriction of movement. But there has been restriction of movement so far, and the law enforcement agents, the security operatives, have been doing their jobs fantastically.
And while we await the arrival of Tokunbo Abiri, the respondent you spoke with earlier, the lady, she said the voter turnout is just average. I wonder if you could inquire why the voter turnout is just average and not above average.
Well, you know, it's a by-election, and it is Lagos East Senatorial District, and it involves just about 5 local governments: Ekpe, Ibejuleki, Kushofe, Shomolu, and Ikorodu.
Okay.
And their own observation is based from the Ikorodu axis only, the area in Ikorodu. They are not speaking from Ekpe point of view. They are not speaking from Ibejuleki or Kushofe or Shomolu, but Ikorodu. And, you know, because of their restriction to Ikorodu, covering and then understanding how the election has been, so it is very obvious that their understanding is based on the area in which they are operating. So it may not go as a general statement as at this time, but probably towards the ending of the election, it will be very, very good to understand if the election turnout, that's voters that came to vote, if they were low or high.
Very good, Ozzy. Now, INEC on Thursday received and dispatched sensitive materials for Saturday's elections. That's today. So were there any complaints of electoral material shortages, you think?
Well, so far from the Ikorodu area in which I am at the moment, the complaints about materials is yet to come to the surface, because everybody have been coming in, they vote, and then they go. And I still have some people who just came to cast their votes that I'm trying to even see if I can talk to. Because for now, I don't think anybody has been complaining about materials not arriving when it is supposed to. What we've seen so far has been a very peaceful place. Even when we were at Babatunde Gbadamosi's polling booth, it was very, very peaceful. The INEC officials were there as at when they were supposed to be there. And here too in Tokunbo Abiru's unit, they are there. You can see the 1, 2, 3 people who are conducting their work. There is a copper, and then you see the way the card reader is working. There's a woman who is about to vote right now, and they are all observing the COVID-19 spacing, wearing their nose mask too at the same time.
All right, Ozzy, before we let you go, we understand the process has been smooth so far, but when is this process expected to end?
Well, from what we gathered, they said probably by 2 o'clock, everything will start coming to an end gradually. So probably we'll have another 2 hours more to see how this process will go.
All right then. Ozio Koli, our correspondent there, monitoring the by-elections in Lagos State. Many thanks for the updates.